just brag about how God makes me feel like his favorite person in the whole entire world. It was one day I was shopping with my daughter's Amber after writing a post about me being God's favorite. And she said, "Oh, Mom, look." And she pointed at this. And it was just God confirming, "Yes, my Nick, you're my favorite." That's honestly, and truly how God makes me feel, guys. And I don't want you guys to miss out on all this love from him, man. Like, he freaked me out yesterday because the day before I was on a test drive with a customer. And we drove by another dealer. And I thought about my friend who works there, right? And I said, I gotta call him. All day long, I said, I gotta call him and ask him if he could please stop by. But I never got a chance to call him, guys. And I haven't seen him in months, Can you believe yesterday he came by? I'm like, how are you here right now? I was thinking about him the whole entire day, only because that customer from the night before decided to pass his dealership on the test drive. And it was just God, letting me know. And he knows every thought I think. He's intimately involved in every single moment of my life. And like this morning, I go to the God tree. So I get there at 6:32. So I went to page 32 of our website, just asking God, like, which page do I go to today? And that page 32 is something else. Because yesterday, I took a customer home. So he told me he lived close by, and I saw he was walking, so I was going out. I said, come on, let me give you a drop. I know I had to go so far with him, guys. But anyway, we got a chance to talk about God, and he told me how he has these appointments with God, and he just writes down whatever, comes to his spirit. So I said, okay, what did you write today? He said he wrote about silence. And we ended up having this conversation about silence and how sometimes silence is wisdom and not talking so much, right? Look what showed up on page 32 with God. It says, to hold back some words as an act of love, to vent to him and to others, I should practice silence, guys. Do you see that? How? And the guy said yesterday that he wrote about silence and how we talk about sometimes silence is wisdom, guys. To just be still. And that he is God and leave the battles with him. Not everything has to be said, guys. Sometimes we get to just say, God, this battle is for you, not for me. And then Joshie was at the office, my son, and my husband was showing me his cut on his finger. He got a cut. And I wanted to tell him a story about what my brother Kevin taught me about how there's two sides to your hand, right? That, honey, you could look at this cut on your finger and complain, or you could look at it and say, God, thank you that I didn't cut off my whole entire finger, So it's an important message from my brother Kevin about that we can look at life from this, focus on the good, we can focus on the bad, So I get to the tree at 32 minutes past the hour, and can you believe that was there too? It said, I learned from my brother Kevin recently. He said how you have two sides of your hand. You can look at one side of life, reflecting on what's wrong, or you can turn your hand over and look at the other side, the good. It's your choice. How? That I'm thinking that yesterday at the office, and it showed up on page 32. God, there's nothing that we do he doesn't know about. So I'm chatting with my daughter Amber today. She answered my calls, guys. And we actually had a great conversation. And it's what my brother Kevin says. Hey, Nick, your kids are not your friends right now, but eventually they will be your friend. Because you can see that the mama's decisions have always been good for her. I said, Amber, anything I tell you to do, trust me, it's just out of my love for you, honey. It's just experience. And I told her how I would do the same thing with my mom. I would listen to my mom. And then I will come back and say, oh, Mom, you were right. How did you know? And I said, Em, it's just us having more experience about life than you. So you got to take, heed for what we say. So anyway, back to the story of God's presence with us. She ended up sending me her appointment with God. And it says exactly what I've been telling you, like, how can I think about Alejandro, that person at the dealership, like all that day, and then he just showed up on his own, Like that's God's spirit. It just brought him there to me. It just let me know that he's with me, right? And how could my conversation with that guy show up under the tree about getting to love silence, and how we talked about how this silence is wisdom. Then about the situation with my husband with the cut, like, you need to just be happy that you didn't cut off your finger, So all of that is God revealing his intimate closeness with me, right? Like he knows every thought we think. Can you believe my daughter Ember ends up sending me her appointment with God from today? And it says, never take for granted my intimate nearness. Can you guys believe that? And that was me under the tree today. I'm like, God, you know everything, everything about me, man. So guys, I don't want to be this close to Papa God by myself. I want you here with me. So yeah, my daughter showed me her appointments with God. I said, Ember, this is the most important part of your life. Because I was telling her how yesterday I was in the office, I was frustrated about something. And I just listened to God say, Nick, do this. And I didn't. And it's really paying off for me, guys. I said, Ember, that's what you call discernment. When you know God's still small voice. With him telling you all day, do this, do that, do this. Go here, don't go here. Call this person, don't call this person. Look how he had that guy to come to my office yesterday. And the reason why he came, because he's like my mentor. The reason why I wanted to call him to say, I miss my mentor. He would always give me such advice and everything, So I was missing him. And he gives me the courage to think and do big things, to even stick with the car business, guys. So it was like a gift from God to say, here's your mentor back, Nick. So guys, don't miss out on this relationship with God. I don't want to be feeling this close like I'm his favorite by myself. I want the whole world here arguing with me, saying, no, I'm God's favorite, Nikki. The way God shows up for me. And I'm talking in every aspect of my life, Like this daughter just blew me away with this conversation I had with her. And I'm like, God, you're so great. You're so great to me. Every aspect of my life, he's there, from the business to my marriage to parenting with the kids. I'm so in love with my family, guys. The hubba wubba, that's my guy. I said, not that nobody could ever tell me anything about you, my honey. You're my guy for life. Yeah, he was teasing him how he was telling me that I'm this thug. I say, you best believe I will fight a bitch for you. Okay, guys, so get going with your appointments with God. Don't joke with them. So proud of you, my Ember, having your appointments with God. You see they're working. You see what God is doing for you, my boo. So everybody, I want everybody following my girl Ember. I want you guys following and having your appointments with God. Having the discernment to know what is it he would have you to do on a moment-by-moment basis. I don't want to feel this close to him by myself, guys, okay? You don't have to run in the dark like me, but just make some time to say, God, it's my time to be alone with you. Nothing more important than that, guys.